tend to review a lot of new movies as they come out in theaters, but one of my favorite things to do is to revisit movies in my collection. Whether they're personal favorites, cult classics, or films I've just never seen but always been curious about. And today's movie falls into that last category. For whatever reason, up until recently, I had never seen Ridley Scott's 2003 movie, Matchstick Men. I knew it had Nicolas Cage, I knew it was about con artists, but beyond that, I went in pretty blind. And now that I finally watched it, I have to say, this movie is fantastic. It's got incredible performances, sharp writing, and a con artist story that keeps you hooked until the very end. But the real surprise, it's also a deeply emotional character study that sneaks up on you. So, let's talk about Matchstick Men, why it's still worth watching today, and whether this Blu-ray release is worth you adding to your collection. Matchstick Men follows Roy Waller, played by Nicolas Cage, who's a veteran con man that makes his living pulling small-scale scams with his partner Frank Mercer, played by Sam Rockwell. Roy is incredibly skilled at what he does, but he's also a complete mess. He suffers from severe OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, anxiety, and tics that make his daily life borderline unbearable. He's dependent on medication, has to follow strict rituals, and he can barely function outside of his controlled environment. Just as Roy and Frank are gearing up for a big con, Roy makes a shocking discovery. He has a teenage daughter, Angela, played by Alison Lohman, who he never knew existed. Suddenly, Roy's carefully structured world is flipped upside down. As he bonds with Angela, he starts questioning everything, his career, his lifestyle, and whether he can actually be a father. This is what makes Matchstick Men so special. Unlike most con artist movies, which focus purely on the thrill of the scam, this film dives deep into its characters. The story is just as much about Roy's personal struggles as it is about the cons he's running. That balance between crime drama and emotional storytelling is what makes this movie stand out from the rest. Let's be real, Nicolas Cage is one of the most unpredictable actors out there. He can be completely over the top like in Face Off or Ghost Rider, or shockingly subtle and nuanced like in a movie called Adaptation. In Matchstick Men though, he is at his absolute best. Cage fully commits to the role of Roy Waller, making his anxiety and compulsions feel completely real and lived in. You can see the frustration in his face, the way he twitches and blinks, how every little imperfection in the world seems to cause him genuine pain. But beyond the quirks, Cage brings real heart to the role. Roy is funny, charming, and even sympathetic despite his morally questionable career. His dynamic with Sam Rockwell is also fantastic. Rockwell plays Frank, the younger, more impulsive con man who keeps pushing Roy to take bigger risks. He's hilarious, charismatic, and keeps you guessing throughout the film. And then there's Alison Lohman, who delivers an absolutely outstanding performance as Angela. She's fun, rebellious, and completely sells the emotional weight of her character. It's wild to think that she left acting because based on this movie alone, she had so much talent. One of the best things about Matchstick Men is that it keeps you on your toes the entire time. From the moment Angela enters the picture, you know something's gonna happen, but you don't know what. And without giving away spoilers, let's just say the movie plays a con on the audience as well. Like any great con artist film, Matchstick Men has a twist that completely changes everything. It's one of those moments that makes you rethink the entire movie and appreciate just how well constructed it was. If you've never seen it, you're in for a ride. If you have seen it, it's one of those movies that's just a lot of fun to rewatch because you know where it's going and you can pick up on all the little hints throughout the film. Ridley Scott is best known for his massive, visually stunning epics like Gladiator and Blade Runner and even Alien. But Matchstick Men proves that he can also handle small, character-driven stories just as well. Scott's direction here is sharp and stylish but never overwhelming. The cinematography is crisp and clean, and even though the film takes place in everyday settings, Scott still finds a way to make it visually compelling. It's a tightly paced movie with zero wasted scenes, and at just under 2 hours, it never overstays its welcome. Now, if you're like me and you like owning physical media, you might be wondering if the Blu-ray is worth picking up. And the short answer, yes, absolutely. The Blu-ray's transfer is fantastic, the visuals are sharp, the colors look great, and the black levels are deep and clean. It's not a flashy movie, but it's still a big improvement over DVD quality. The DTS HD master audio track is also really well done. Dialogue is crisp, and the score by Hans Zimmer fits perfectly without overwhelming the film. The Blu-ray also has some great bonus content, including an audio commentary with Ridley Scott and the writers Ted and Nicholas Griffin. In that, they provide insights into the filmmaking process, character development, and some behind-the-scenes stories. There's also Tricks of the Trade, Making Matchstick Men, which is a 72-minute long full documentary covering pre-production, casting, filming, and post-production. Then there's just a little theatrical trailer, which is a nice little look back at how the movie was marketed. These extras give a lot of insight into the creative process, making this a solid release for collectors. If you want to add Matchstick Men to your collection, I've linked to the best deal I could find on the Blu-ray in the description box below. Using that link does help out the channel, so if you do, I appreciate it. So, final thoughts. Is Matchstick Men worth watching? 100%. If you love con artist movies or character-driven dramas or just great performances, Matchstick Men is absolutely worth your time. It's one of those movies that never really got the attention it deserved, but it holds up incredibly well today. So would I recommend watching it? Yes. Would I recommend the Blu-ray? Definitely, especially when you consider all those special features. If you've already seen Matchstick Men, let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you have another throwback movie you want me to cover, drop it down in the comments. I'm always happy to check it out. If you like this review, give the video a like. And if you want to keep up to speed on all the new big movies coming out, as well as some classics, make sure you subscribe. Be good.